You have a collect call from. Press 1 to accept charges. Hey guys, this is the Queen Carter, and you're tuned in to Press One Podcast. And today I have a special guest by the name of Dirt. How you doing, Dirt?
I'm chilling, chill, you heard me? Yeah, feeling the vibe so far, you heard me?
Okay, that's good. So let us know a little bit about yourself. Are you born and raised in New Orleans?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in, born in Charity Hospital, you heard me? Mm-hmm. But, I was born and raised in Salisbury.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you like the most about New Orleans?
I like most about New Orleans is like, the culture,
Mm-hmm.
the food, like a lot of places when I be traveling is like, sometimes it'll just make you like realize like New Orleans is one of the best places to be, like, throughout Louisiana, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can't really stop at no store and nothing like that at 12 o'clock at night, 2 in the morning, 3, 4, 5, and get you no alcohol. You heard me?
Exactly.
So, like, that's a good thing about, about the city. Like, you can really, you can, if you're a drinker, you like to drink, chill or whatever, like, you can just pull up anywhere, in the city and, cop you something.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what I like about,
I definitely miss that when I travel.
Oh, yeah, it's like you got to travel with a, what they call it, a care package of liquor. You hear me?
Then you got to be careful that you don't break nothing.
Yeah, you got to be.
Yeah.
You got to have them things lined up right, you heard me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you just got off tour, right, with Kevin Gates? How was that?
Yeah, oh, man, it was, people be asking me, like, what's the feeling? And it's sometimes it get to the point to where, like, I can't even really explain it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's something that I was working for, like, to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I did a lot of showcases, and, it just hit different. Like, when you come from a club to doing a packed out arena,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? And it's like, the anticipation of the unknown, you know what I'm saying? Like, the unknown people will really, like, let you know if this for you, or you need to work harder, or you need to just get the fuck out the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I had kind of got a beautiful response, like, you know what I'm saying, from when I was out there in South Carolina. Like, the response was crazy, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, we went back to the hotel, and for them to have, like, Gates, Rob, NLE, Honcho, and for me being like the first opener, and for somebody to remember me, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I felt I did the job, you know what I'm saying? The response, like, was crazy. The cameras was up. The people was like, you know what I'm saying? They was feeling me, like, then it kind of semi let me run over my time, because I was really, I was rocking out. And then we went to Alabama. After that. And it was like, it was a different crowd in Alabama. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was, had a lot of Caucasians and stuff in there, you hear me? It was a mixed culture.
Mm-hmm.
But for the response that I got, you know what I'm saying, when they say your music is, like, don't supposed to be in certain areas, like, them people let me know my music was, like, supposed to be where it was at. The camera stayed up, you know what I'm saying? I got fire clips and all that, you know what I'm saying? So, like, the response that I did get from Alabama and South Carolina, it was beautiful,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long you been doing music?
I've been freestyling. I've been freestyling my music for a nice little minute.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I used to do it on the block. We used to be at the home and just, like, saying things and, rapping about it. Living things and, you know what I'm saying, and rapping about it. So, the music always been a part of me, like, you know what I'm saying? And when I first understood music, it's like, it was a while back, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was listening to Slick Rick, and, he had a song called Children's Story. Mm-hmm. And, like, that was the first time that I ever wrote any lyrics before. I wrote his whole lyrics out, kept playing the tape backwards, listening to it, writing it, trying to find a formula into writing. And I used to always hear people say, like, 16s and shit like that. I ain't never knew what 16s was, you know what I'm saying? I just knew when to cut it off, like when to cut my verse off and when to bring the chorus in. Mm-hmm. And then I started learning how to really just run a whole verse, and just long as the verse, you know what I'm saying, long as it's intact and that bitch bopping, you know what I'm saying, Like some songs and some beats will tell you like, man, just run that bitch straight through. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, I got my own flow mat. You know what I'm saying? Like my own formula. Like I can't really, you know, adapt to how you might be a 16. I'm gonna do it how I want to do it, and I look at the end of the day like, you know, just respect it.
Yeah.
You know, respect it, cause you know I'm gonna do me. You know, y'all, I'm not. You know, it's cool to follow the trend, but I'm gonna make my own trend.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel comfortable the way I'm doing it, and I feel I'm doing it to where it can be accepted, and I keep it. You know, and I'm keeping my formula.
What type of music do you feel like you make?
The type of music I make is like, it's basically like, you know, it's storytelling. It's like, it's hype shit. It's struggle, pain. You know what I'm saying? And overall, it's like, it's a vision. So whatever type of music I'm making, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be a vision to where like, that bitch going to touch your soul. You know what I'm saying? Like some artists, when you don't know artists, like sometimes you got to get an artist the opportunity to really, you know, present itself. Like the opportunity meaning is that, you know what I'm saying, you listen to the artist. Get an artist a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like you listen to everybody else. You know what I mean? Why you listen to them? Because they're a little more famous. And these people underground, underrated. But you know, sometimes when I look at it, like I seen both sides. I seen the mainstream and I seen the underground. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I look, be having mainstream be doing their thing, but sometimes, like me personally, I think the underground artists be really hard. Cause you know, they be really rapping like, man, I need these $1,000 for my rent. I only got 100. But I know if I go crazy on this bitch, like, and them dudes be really pouring their heart out. They really give it their all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I seen a lot of artists. Like, I got shit from mainstream artists, but I also learned from underground artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, that passion, that pain, that hunger. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I learned that some underground artists never get content. They always want it, and they keep wanting it. You know what I'm saying? And that's, you know, something I like about as underground artists and stuff like that.
Yeah. So let us know more about your like upbringing and your childhood. Like, did you have a 2-parent home?
Yeah, I got a 2-parent home. At first, my first home, I was raised in my, you know, in my grandmother's house. But it was my mama, my uncles and my aunties, and you know, all the grandkids, and you know, everybody was like, we was like packed up in that bitch. But that bitch was like a little mansion or something. So you know, it was like, let me see, 1, 2, 3. It had like 4 rooms in there, nice size living room. You know what I'm saying? Nice size kitchen. You know, in my family, my aunties, and you know what I'm saying, like they cooks. You know what I'm saying? So then it came to the point in life to where, you know what I'm saying, I was kind of getting involved with the streets, and moms laid up there and shipped me off to Pops. So, you know, I went by Pops, and that was just right on the other side of the tracks, you know what I'm saying? So I always had the option to always come back, you know what I'm saying, to the causeway, to where I was, you know, where I grew up at or whatever, like, so, but you know, Pops was like more lean, more like, let me be a man type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it wasn't no pressure. But, you know, just watching him, you know what I'm saying, he made me understand, like, you know, how to be calm.
How many siblings do you have?
I got, let's see, I got like 5, you hear me?
Okay.
I got like 5 in a total. You know what I'm saying? My daddy, he have a few children, you hear me? And, you know, I'm just going to leave the other where it's at. You feel me? Like, but you know, like, them my siblings right there, you heard me?
So when did you start getting in trouble with the law?
I started getting in trouble with the law as a juvenile. I was like 10 years old. And I had did a little, it was like a little breaking and entering. And I had kind of like, you know, got in trouble, but it was never like to where the trouble I was getting into, it ain't like make me want to stop. The trouble I was getting into made me want to get into more trouble, you know what I'm saying? Because I was looking at it like, I'm young, then the homies that I had, like, you know, that I grew up with, it was like, That's what we like to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like getting in trouble was like having fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, we break in the gym, or we break in this fucking this company. All that shit was like exciting. You know what I'm saying? And it just made us want to like always have something to do. You heard me? Because we ain't really had too much to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? In my neighborhood, you heard me?
Mm-hmm.
It was like either, get in trouble or hustle. And fuck, hustling is trouble too. But as kids, like, we just used to do, like normal shit that, children do. Like, fuck, get in trouble and try to keep that shit away from their parents, you hear me? So they can get in more trouble. Yeah. That's how I looked at it. Fuck.
When's the first time you've been like incarcerated or went to jail? Like, how old were you?
My first time going to jail, I was 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get back out. I'll go right back in.
So when you was like 10, you went to like a boot camp or something?
No, I had went to the juvenile facility over there in Manhattan.
Oh, okay.
Off of Manhattan, like, you heard me, Revard.
Yeah.
So I went to Revard. I get in there, get back out, catch another charge, get out.
So were you like in school at that time?
Yeah, I was in school, but fuck, nigga used to be skipping out so much to, it was like, we skip out and go straight under the bridge.
Yeah.
We go under the bridge, you know what I'm saying? That's where we used to hustle at. Like, hustle under the bridge on Andover, you heard me, the Causeway or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying?
How'd your parents feel about that?
It really, fuck, my mama, she used to beat my ass, but, you know what I'm saying? It was like, shit, nigga was like right back at it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That shit only lasted for while she was beating my ass. You heard me? So far, once she finished beating my ass, like, it's like, I'm about to go right back into action.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it was like, with the old heads that was around the way, like, you know what I'm saying, from the women to the men, you know what I'm saying, even though, like, I was in the streets, you know what I'm saying, I always showed them respect, like, you feel me? Mm-hmm. So, like, when I had gotten the age, and a lot of them knew I was, like, to do the rapping and shit like that, so I if, sales came through or whatever, like, I stopped. At first, I used to do it, but I knew I was trying to, I used to play basketball and shit too, like real heavy. And a lot of people used to support me playing basketball. Mm-hmm. So it was like, I can't keep like hustling in front of these people. And I know these people go back and tell my mama, you know what I'm saying? So I had to change my game up. And that's when I understood, you know what I'm saying, being outside at night. You see what I'm saying? So when I learned the night instead of the daytime, so when I learned how to have a vision at night, you know what I'm saying, I got adapted. And I started loving the nighttime more than the daytime, because I look at it in the daytime, everybody can see you. Like, whatever you doing, you know what I'm saying, everybody can see a nigga, you heard me? So, but I can't see them, though. So I was trying to figure out, like, who told you that? Like, and you go to figure out, like, how the fuck they, you know what I'm saying? Like, how they seen you. So I'm like, damn, all right, cool. So I started moving at night, you know what I'm saying? I started hustling at night. So now the game didn't change. I can see you, but you can't see me.
Yeah.
So when I can see you, I know how to maneuver around you, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to be to the point where, like, now I'm like, oh, all right, yeah, this nice shit is hype. You see what I'm saying? So now I can do and maneuver how I want to and do shit that I want to do, you know what I'm saying? So by the time the daytime hit, like in the AM, you know what I'm saying, I'm back off in the crib, you hear me? Like, like nothing ain't never happened. Like, I'm starting to look like a, like I'm a good dude now, you hear me? So they used to be like, yeah, so they couldn't really like see, they couldn't really see me like I seen them, you know what I'm saying? So that's what made me left there and start, like, loving the nighttime and shit like that, you hear me?
So when did you catch your first real sentence?
My first real sentence, I caught as a juvenile, you hear me? I was in a, this when it came with a little thing called cell charges. You know what I'm saying? And I think my charge was bogus, you hear me? But, I had went on a run. Like, I was on a run for like 5 years and shit like that. And so, like, when I finally, one of my cousins used to tell me, like, man, Dirk, bro, you need to, like, you know, you need to chill, bro. Like, you don't want to see that side. Like, I'm too far in. You know what I'm saying? The only way I can chill is when I get caught.
Yeah.
Because I know when I get caught, I got to go do the time. You heard me? So when it came around with the cell charges, that kind of like broke our hood up. You know what I'm saying? It kind of divided parts, and, you know, we lost a lot of homies, you know what I'm saying, throughout that shit, like from doing time and, you know, and shit like that. So when I finally got my charge and I went did my time off the shit or whatever, you heard me? And that was like, fuck. It was like in the mid-90s, somewhere like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it was bad. It was bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was bad. And I did that, and, you know what I'm saying, I came right back out, you know, but I wasn't trying to, you know, go back in. But it's like sometimes when a nigga had them type of circumstances, like, to where...
What age were you?
Like, at that time, I probably was like a little teenager. I probably like, you know, like 15, you know, 14 and shit.
And when
then,
you get out?
And when I got out, when I did that, I was like in and out. It wasn't like permanent. It's like I go in that bitch, I come right back out that bitch, stay on the street for 2 weeks, go in that bitch for a month, stay on the streets for 2 weeks, go back in that bitch for a month. And it was just back and forth till the lady told me, like, cause like, you know, at that time when I was young, I had like a little habit and shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I had got introduced to the pills and shit, you feel me? Like, I was popping that when, like, the pills was real pills then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they had the blue dolphins and the green apples and the Medusas and shit. So, you know, I used to be popping pills and shit. You know, niggas smoked their little weed, you heard me? You know, that's like the normal. And so then I was, you know, fucking with some of the homies, you heard me? Like, you know, R.I.P. to them boys, one of them. You know what I'm saying? And I got introduced to, you know, to the powder. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, it came to the time to where, like, I started snorting the coke. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And when I was snorting coke at that moment, it was like, it was different. You know what I'm saying? It had different heights to it. And how I was living in the hood, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of the thing to be doing, like, you heard me? It wasn't the thing to be doing, but it was like the thing to be doing on your own time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that shit made me really feel like, you know, had the comfortability to it, you heard me? It was like, you know, it kept me focused and unfocused, like, all in the same bracket, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Until, the only thing I hated about that situation is when my cousin found out. You know what I'm saying? That I was snorting coke. You know, that was my A1 nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you see him, you see me. Like, if you see me, you ask about him. Mm-hmm. You know, vice versa or whatever. So when he found out about it, you heard me, it kind of hit me home. You know what I'm saying? Like, it hit me different. To the point, like, we was walking the shells one night. You know, and I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I was loaded. I was big old loaded. And that nigga like, man, what's down with you, bitch? I'm like, shit, I'm cool, you hear me? But I don't really want to talk because, you know, this coke, this bitch got me draining, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling real good and you about to talk real stupid. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So, you know, and it was like, you know, he brought it to my attention. And he was like, yeah, bitch, you think I don't know what you done? So I'm like, man, you tripping, but I'm steady draining, and you know, and I'm just like, you know, I'm catching it. And they're like, look at your stupid ass, like, bitch, you loaded right now, stupid duck ass nigga, you hear me? So I'm like, you know what, dog? I'm like, man, I'm about to dip. So me and his uncle is my cousin. Mm-hmm. I said, you know what? I said, bro, I'm about to turn around. That nigga said, man, bitch, you ain't, man. He said, man, turn around for what? You hear me? So I'm like, I said, dog, listen, man, I'm not about to be talking about that shit, bro. You hear me? So you're like, hey, bitch, I know you don't want to talk about it, but, you know, there was, you know, that's the love, like, you know what I'm saying? So what he was actually saying is something that I was already thinking. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm knowing what I'm doing, and I'm knowing, like, you know, it's fucked up, you hear me? Because I ain't this type, you hear me? So what he's saying, I must have needed that conversation. Like, you know, it's the universe working mysterious ways. Yeah. So when he gave me the conversation, you heard me? Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, you know, the nigga made me break down. I shed tears. Because, you know, everything he was saying was like, you know, it was right. You feel me? And it was correct. And I guess I needed that, like, you know, like, yeah, bitch, like, you know, like, yeah, bitch, we don't do that type of shit, nigga. You hear me? Like, man, leave that to them stupid ass niggas or whatever. You hear me? And I'm like, yeah, dog, I'm like, you right, you hear me? But, you know, the shit hit me hard. So as we walk back, I go to my grandmother's house. You heard me? I sit in the back. I ain't gonna lie though. I hit that bitch 2 more times. You heard me? Like, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. You heard me? I sit in the back. But I'm thinking now. You heard me? I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So bam, I grab the bag. I hit that bitch. Boom, boom. Call my little drain. I said, you know something? I said, oh. I said, Zo, is it?
So what's the drain with the nose running?
Yeah, like the nose, like, you know, we take the, like the drain, you take the Heineken.
Mm-hmm.
You hit your, you know, when you put a Heineken on your hands and you know, you hit that bitch to, you know, get that bitch to water down.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when that bitch water down, and you catch that bitch gonna come down. So when that bitch come down, now that bitch in your system.
Oh, okay.
So now you got the lift, you got the high. You see what I'm saying? So I'm feeling good. So now my stupid ass, instead of me taking, it was like, you know, we called it the 8 balls. You know, today is 3 5s. So I took the 3 5 and dumped the bitch in the grass. Instead of putting the bitch with the package, you know, and going in the kitchen and rocking the bitch up, I just dumped out like about $300-400. Oh, I just had dumped out like about $300-400.
Yeah.
So when the bitch hit, it's like when it hit the grass, that's when I said, man, you tripping. I'm like, dog, man, bitch, you just dumped out like about $300-400. You heard me? So I'm like, oh, bitch, I'm tripping. But I guess that's how it was supposed to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I wasn't fucked up, but I was fucked up.
Yeah.
I was loaded, you hear me? Then I could have went back and made like $300, you know what I'm saying, off the shake back. You see what I'm saying? So like, that's what it was. Fuck.
So you did a long stretch. So can you let us know like how that situation came about?
When I did my stretch the 14 years, it was like, I'm gonna just keep it all the way. G was like a nigga I wasn't even supposed to be fucking with, cause of the nigga he was fucking with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mix them, like, cause the nigga he fucking with, like, even though he fam, I don't really fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, you know, it's just facts. Like, you feel me? So I was on, you know, how the shit happened. It got off me you know, the pistol and the coke, you heard me? It was, you know, it was crack and shit, you heard me? But at the end of the day, the shit, it wasn't even my shit, though. Just to keep it 100, like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't even my shit. It was just on, you know what I'm saying, the bike. You see what I'm saying? Like, I ain't much had new, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest with you, like, so when I had got pulled over, you heard me? When the people come and, you know what I'm saying, and they going to, you know, I ain't, you know, at the time, I ain't never even much had, like, rode a bike, but I had just learned. So when they come out with the toolie, I'm looking, I'm like, I said, man, where you get that from? You hear me? Like, then he come out that bitch with the crack. I said, man, that ain't, I said, dog, that's not my shit. I said, man, he like, well, who is for? You hear me? You own it, you hear me? I said, man, look, I don't care what I'm on, bro. That's not mine, you hear me? So at the time, why they, you know what I'm saying, like, they trying to go with their move, like, well, who is for? You hear me? Like, you trying to make me, dog, I'm not saying nothing, bro. I'm telling you that it's not mine. Well, you know what I'm saying, who the bike for? Man, I don't fucking, man, look, I'm telling you this here. I know who that's not mine. You dig what I'm saying? So as we going through that, so like, the bitch said, well, it ain't yours? So I'm like, man, I done told you what I said, you heard me? So boom, they put me in handcuffs, you heard me? Set me in back of the car. So happened before they put me in handcuffs, some females passed in the car. And I heard the chick say, that looked like the album. So when I heard them, they called my little cousin Piggy. Piggy and my partner Buddy pulled up on the scene, you hear me? But at the end of the day, it was like, it was over. You know what I mean? So I sat in HOD for a few months, and, you know, Hurricane Katrina and all that shit hit or whatever. So they shipped a lot of us out, you heard me? Sending people to Hunt Yard, you know, here and there and there. So boom, by the time I made it back down, you heard me? You know, the feds had adopted my charge. So when the feds adopted my charge, it was kind of, everything was different. Like, you can't get the bond, and you can't, you know what I'm saying, none of that. So when I came back in, I tried to get house arrest, but when they looked at my jacket, they won't provide me with the house arrest just off of my jacket. Mm-hmm. You do what I'm saying? So when the process came through, I went to court. It started me off with like 70 to 87 months. You know what I'm saying? But I really wanted to go to trial. You feel me? So when I ain't really fuck with it, 7 to 87 months, they took that off the table. So now they about to charge me of my jacket. Like my jacket played a big part. So now when they come back with the let me see, I think it's on career offender. It came back and hit me with the on career offender. Mm-hmm. So the on career offender means it's like that's the enhancement. So they hit you with the enhancement off of your jacket. You know what I'm saying? So when it came with that, now it's 15 to life. So I can't get a no sentence under 15. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas be misinterpreting it. You know what I'm saying? That shit like sometimes when you in a Pacific category dealing with the federal, mm-hmm. if your shit 10 years, 15, 20 with the life on it, only way you're going to get under that is if you cooperate. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I can't do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing no cooperation. We're not about to try to even talk about the angles and the good talks about, well, if you do this here, you'll be home in 5 years, man. Look, fuck you and your 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to stand on business, bro. Like, at the end of the day, I'm a man out here. I'm a man. I was a man when I was doing it. Give a fuck if I was a teenager or not. You know what I'm saying? I was a man while I was doing it. I got to be a man when that plate, you know what I'm saying? When that plate get pushed to a nigga face, you heard me? Mm-hmm. I got to eat that shit. Ain't no other way. If it was for me to do a life sentence, then that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Because I got children. I got homies. I respect. They respect me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I lose everything.
Was your family like supportive through the process when you were going through court?
Yeah, I had like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you about that. Like, they do what they can do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I ain't look for much because I was really doing my shit on the compound. Like, and it's one thing I can tell you. Like, the homie Borilla can tell you. I done made, man, that niggas to be on the phone, plenty calls. Even when he went to the feds, you know what I'm saying? Like, they would tell him, like, I had the yard. I was getting it in. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, cell phones, weed, tobacco, you hear me? Like, I was doing my shit, you hear me? And I was sending that money home. Like, I used to do shit. My cousin Lisa, she can tell you, my baby mama, you know what I'm saying? She can tell you.
How many children you have?
I got 4 at the moment.
Okay. So, did you keep a good relationship with them while you were locked up? Or were they like babies?
With my kids? Mm-hmm. I did what I can do.
Yeah.
Called home for birthdays. My baby boy, like, his mom used to bring him up there, whatever. But like when it was birthdays, I call him because I know that was like important, you know what I'm saying? And my opportunities that I got to talk to him, I used to talk to him. Like when I came home, I asked him, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how y'all feel about me being incarcerated and knowing where y'all at now? You know what I'm saying? Like, my oldest son, he was like, what I respect that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you used to reach out. Mm-hmm. So that meant a lot, you know what I'm saying? And as I'm home now, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I really be, keep in contact and all that shit for him, you know what I'm saying? And I try to do things with him. I don't try to do things to where it's my type of era or lead. I try to make it they lead too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Go ahead, you can finish asking me. But yeah, I keep a strong relationship. Like, I ain't lying. I think on the up and up. I think I'm kind of a good father though.
Where did you serve your time?
I served my time like in Pollock. I started off in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Then after I left Atlanta, I went to Pollock. Then when I left Pollock, I went to Yazoo. So like, you know,
Was it a reason that they transferred you so much?
nah, that wasn't the reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, you know, I was just holding myself down. Like, you know, sometimes in the federal, it's called custody points.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like when your custody points hitting in certain areas and certain ways, you know what I'm saying? Like they're left there and you know, and they'll transfer you.
How old were you when you went in?
Um, I was I was 23. I was
Mm-hmm.
23 at the time. You heard me?
Okay.
And yeah, that was like huge. You heard me?
Mm-hmm.
That was a huge thing. Like, cause I was so young at the moment. You
So
know
what
what
do
I'm
you
saying?
remember about like going in, like that feeling of you knowing that you got to serve 14 years?
You want to be real with you?
Mm-hmm.
When I went to court for sentencing, the judge said, the judge asked me, she said, is there anything that you want to say? So I said, shit, nah. I want to hear what you got to say. You heard me? So, she said, well, you know, Mr. I sentence you to, you know, your sentence guideline is 15 to life. I sentence you to 15 years to the FBOP. You know what I'm saying? And such and such. So when she said that, you know, I had left I got my hands in the cuffs, but I left my hands up. You heard me? So I was like, I said, hold on, Yan. I said, no, she said, I sent you to 180 months. So I said, hold up. I said, Yan. So I said, I asked her a question. I said, what's 180 months? You heard me? So she was like 15 years. I said 15 years.
Yeah.
I said, man, I know you got the wrong. I know you got the wrong person, because I'm really like, you know, I'm looking at it like dog, like, so you know, I look back at my family, and I come back, and lady told me, she like, well, when I told you, you know what I'm saying, you ain't have nothing to say. So you know, I was like, yeah, I didn't have nothing to say till you said 180. Like, I only, the most I've counted months was to 60. I know 60 months is 5 years.
Yeah.
So you know, that was a 60 times 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't really think that fault. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when she told me that, it kind of, that bitch, it was like playing Russian roulette with a full clip. Just knock my fucking head off. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I ain't must have a chance. So when I got back to the dorm, it was really nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I went in that bitch did and just like, I smoked like 4-5 cigarettes back. Soon I finished one of them, I lit another one up. Cause I couldn't understand, you know what I'm saying, like the time.
What was the official charge?
The official charge was drugs and guns.
Okay.
And it was a good thing that they ain't give me gun protecting drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
that's the way that's the way to lock you in and give you more time when they try to upgrade your charge to, like, you know, guns protecting drugs. You know what I'm saying? That's the way that they try to really, you know, reroute it to where they can really lock you in and give you that type of time. And then they're going to use your jacket on you, and they're going to enhance, you know what I'm saying? They're going to enhance your charges and all that type of shit, you heard me?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's another thing, too, what they do.
So when you got transferred after you got sentenced, like, how was that experience for you? Did you know people that was in that prison, or did you come in and you didn't know anyone?
Nah, I ain't know nobody, to be real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm from Salisbury, but I know niggas in the streets now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I had built. One of my partners, Chill Will, and another partner, Steph. But when I got transferred, it was like I was on my own. You know what I'm saying? So, but I built a relationship with dudes that was in the parish, like, you know what I'm saying, niggas that I ran across, and some niggas that I know that remained silent. You know what I'm saying? And I never knew like when you becoming, you know, a CI, you know, how that shit work upstate. But I went to learning it, and I went to seeing, like, you know what I'm saying, like when you cross over the game, like how niggas treat you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like damn, but you know, you gotta look at it like, you know what I'm saying, when you take another nigga, you take another man off the streets from feeding his family. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is, dog, like whatever time you get, it's no need for you to worry at all, because it's like niggas forget that part of the game. Like, that same dude that was feeding you you'll X him out just to come back home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some niggas do that shit, bro. On account, I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck. A lot of niggas do that shit to come back home to a bitch, to their woman, to their side piece. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a good route. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a good way to, you know what I'm saying, to go about the shit that you do when you know the lifestyle that you live in and you know what comes with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta let the universe take it how it take it. You know what I'm saying? If it's over for you, bro, it's over. But once you do that shit, you get treated differently. I know in the era that we was in, once you do that, like, people took that shit serious.
So how do you feel about it when you went in? Do you feel like people held you down like they were supposed to, or do you feel like it slowly faded because people see how much time you had?
The ones that held me down was the ones that were supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cause it's I look at it like it's not their job to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I had started off when I was in a parish. I got a partner named Head. You know what I'm saying? He offered Josephine. And man, you know, that's what me and my dog, like, we really built a relationship, like, in the parish. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? We was in temperament. So once you like, you come across some good dudes, like, you know what I'm saying? When you in them situations, you come across some good dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, to the point, like, you really look at them like, you know, your childhood friends.
Mm-hmm.
You build a relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's like dudes that I came across, like, on that time. Like, we fucking around today. My partner Wayne, good nigga. You know, like the one I told you, Head, good nigga. And we talk on the daily, you know what I'm saying? Got, you know, old school Doc. My dog Grills in that bitch, you heard me? You know, I came across a lot of good men. The homie Nap, old school, Glenn Mess, you know, Cole. You know, it's a lot of them. From Baton Rouge, my dog Lump. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Lump, that's my dog, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, solid nigga. And that's about what it is, though, for real.
What do you feel like stuck with you the most about being incarcerated?
Say that again?
What's, like, stuck with you the most? Like, do you have any habits that you took from being in jail, or, like, what do you remember the most?
What I remember the most? Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna lie. See, only thing I remember about being incarcerated is how not to come back in that bitch. Mm-hmm. That's what I learned the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, seeing homies, like, you see dudes, like, it comes to the point to where niggas put you on their ticket, like the over and under. If he'll be back in 6 months to a year, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You might be like, oh, that boy going home, or I'm gonna take him under, or he'll be back in 6 months. That's how burnt out, you know what I'm saying? Like, the mindset is, you know what I'm saying, with niggas, cause you can see this type of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, if he go home, you know he coming back. But you know, like, if he go home, you know, dude about to, like, try to make a little way. He might come back later, or he might not. You know what I'm saying? But you know he about to go out there and tighten up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna keep it gangster. It's like my homie Wayne, like, he on it right now. That's him right there. Look, with all the laughing and shit. You see him?
Yeah.
That's him right there. He like to laugh and shit. You heard me? So I knew he wasn't coming back. Mm-hmm. Reason being, cause all he did was, like, stayed in the dorm, played poker, and kept the remote. He had it, like, he wanted his own TV. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's the type of environment type nigga that he was gonna be. Like my partner Head, when he was younger, you probably would have been like, that little bitch a hothead, you heard me? Like, he'll be back. I think that bitch went back. But I think after he came, he ain't going back no more.
Yeah.
Nah, I gotta give it to him. That little bitch ain't going. He ain't going back. You hear me?
Yeah.
Like he really do his thing. Like he come out. Some dudes. When you know that environment, some dudes come home and really like. They make different moves. And like what really made me, you know what I'm saying, when I came home, what really made me get focused is my cousin. You want to ask me why?
Yeah, why?
I come home, you hear me? That nigga's working at McDonald's. Mm-hmm. So I came over there to see him, you hear me? I said, damn, bitch. I said, oh, fuck. See, you working at McDonald's? A nigga like, shit, bitch, you think I ain't? Bitch, I'm not going back in. Boy, I'm not going back in there, you hear me?
Yeah.
So when I seen him do that, that was the reason why I went and got a job. Because I came home now. I ain't gonna lie. I came home like I was, I wanted to adapt back to what I'm known, what I'm used to.
Yeah.
So when I came home, I ain't lying. The hours I spent out there, for the shit that I made when I was out there in them 9 hours, it changed my whole perspective of the game. That's when I knew the game was beat down. You want to know how much I made?
How much you made?
You want to know how many hours I was out there?
Yeah.
I was out there for 9.
You play.
Look, I ain't lying. I was out there for 9 hours. Mm-hmm. 9 hours. Literally. And made $20.
Yeah.
When the first one came through, I said, all right. It was like 4 hours after the first one. I said, all right, cool. This bitch about to pick up. I said, this bitch gonna pick up. You hear me? But then I'm like, it was dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? I said, you know what? I said, man, guess what? I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm about to go get me a gig. You hear me? And when I got my gig, my first gig I had started working was at the airport. You know what I'm saying? I was working at the airport. I can say that I helped build the new airport. You hear me? And like one of them little concretes in there, I put my name in there too. So when I took
you
that.
You still see it in there?
Oh yeah, I'm in there. I'm in there. Oh yeah, I'm in there. They can't.
So when you went in, you were pretty young. So you was 23. Like, did the prison offer you like any skills? Like, did you get you had graduated before you went to jail?
Nah, I ain't do nothing.
Okay.
I was just like, I was a regular. I used to use the term like like getting a GED. Mm-hmm. I just call that shit like getting even dumber. That's just how I used to look at it, you know what I'm saying? I ain't have no credentials. My only credentials that I had was the corner, the pots, the stoves, the scales. That's all I had. You know what I'm saying? That's all I ever had. No, was successful. Like, cause I tried the 9 to 5. I even worked at Rallies. You know what I'm saying? But look, with me working at Rallies, look how that turned out. I turned Rallies into a whole trap house. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trapping. Look, I'm in a what you call it, the deep freezer. I got the manager. You hear me? I got all of them in there shooting dice. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we was on. You know what I'm saying? That's all I cared for. Like that was like my excitement. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was running for. And Guwap, you tore up too, Guwap. You hear me?
So were you able to get your GED in there?
Or? Oh yeah. Back to that. Yeah, I definitely had got my G. Like, look, I'm gonna tell you something. When I took the test, you hear me? The teacher came and like, cause when you take a GED test, to give your time all till the test come back. Mm-hmm. So my partner kept telling me, I think Wayne told me that too. I think, cause me and Wayne was in the same class together. You hear me? And then Wayne said, man, that boy, man, what that boy name was, Wayne, the teacher, and what you call him? Anyway, Wayne said, man, what you call him? Looking for you. So when I went in when they called me in the office, So, you know, they were telling us our scores. So he said, man, say, he was like, say, Adams, holler, Mr. Hickok. So I said, where's Am? That boy stood up. He said, the album, I must say, man, like, you've been a good student, a boop, bop, bop, and a bop, bop. You hear me? You never gave up. Then he reached his hand out. He said, congratulations, you heard me? I said, whoa. I said, hold up. I said, hold the fuck. I said, what's up? He said, man, you passed your GED. I said, man, I got the GED. I said, man, get the fuck out. You know, I had screamed. I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here. Because I never knew I was going to pass the GED. Because I ain't lying. I took that bitch about 3 times.
Yeah.
And it was certain things like, you know, you study so much in the book, I never had got to understand. Like when you study shit in a book, it don't actually be on the test.
Exactly.
It's actually like you got to get the formula to learn, you know what I'm saying, how to answer these answers or whatever. So, you know, I had got my GED. I was working in safety. I got my my pesticide certifications. I got safety management certifications. You know what I'm saying? I got some nice little certifications, you dig?
Yeah.
And so, you know, yeah, I did my 1, 2 in that now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my certifications, you heard me? Like, I know how to do a lot of little, you know, safety inspection. I got my another one. I got my fire extinguisher certification, you know, installing and stuff like that. Yeah, I got a few things.
All them things still up to date? You can still do them now?
Oh, I'm locked in. Don't play with me now.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's a side little hustle right there.
Yeah, you damn right. You heard me?
So, what was your like worst experience about being in jail? Like, you got in a lot of fights, or?
Nah, the federal different. Like, the federal be morely on man time, and when you don't really carry yourself like, you know what I'm saying, like you carry yourself like a G, you know what I'm saying, nigga gon' respect you like a G. You hear me? Like you carry yourself like a bitch ass nigga, you gonna get carried like a bitch ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? You carry yourself like you want being this and being to that, then the reward of that is you gotta look at the crosses that's gonna be, you know, coming your way. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to be on this type of time, you want to be that snake type, you know what I'm saying? That's what you gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Because niggas gonna do some, you know, you incarcerated, so niggas gonna do some snake shit. But when you on some bullshit, you know what I'm saying, you trying to make money, put things in there. It's the same way as the streets. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you fucking with niggas in that bitch, like, you know what I'm saying, you gotta make sure that niggas eat too. Cause some niggas don't have that support. And so when some niggas fuck with you on a lawyer type tip, you know what I'm saying, if you got a little motion, don't try to just keep the motion for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same thing like in the streets, bro. Like if you holding, like you a mate, like you gotta realize you can make niggas turn. You can make niggas turn on you. You know what I'm saying? Well, what's up, said baby boy? You hear me? That's one of my incarcerated partners right there too. You hear me? Said. And what's up, cousin? You hear me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You keep to yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Keep it to yourself is being. See, Wayne, he like the jokes. But you know what I'm saying? When you learn what you learn, like keeping to yourself is called being responsible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you responsible for your actions. Like you responsible for the way you move. You responsible for like the niggas that you fuck with.
Yeah.
Everything, like, you know what I'm saying? When it's called keeping to yourself, that's what you call, like, you know what I'm saying, being a man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like understanding the process and understand like the next person. You know what I'm saying? When you understand the next person, how a motherfucker gonna understand somebody else if you don't understand yourself? Exactly. So if you don't understand yourself, you don't know how to understand and respect another nigga. You know what I'm saying? So how you make, when you put that pot on the stove and how you stir that food up, you know, that's how it's gonna come out.
Yeah, so no one wants to glorify jail or prison, but do you feel like you would be the person you are today if you didn't serve that time?
I think honestly I probably would be, but I think incarceration was like an enhancement. Cause it said it, you know, sometimes as like, I'm gonna put it like niggas on the street. Like when the streets is all you know. As a man, you got understanding, know right from wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like a nigga could never tell me, like, I'm gonna just say this here. A nigga could never say that you laid up there, got on the stand. You got on the stand, and you got on the stand and told on dude. You can never tell me that you ain't know right from wrong, or that you ain't never understand that. Cause you understood what the fuck you was doing when you got up there, and you understood when you did it that your time was gonna get cut for you to come home. So you can't sit here and tell me that you ain't understand a motherfucking thing, because you understood. Because they made you understand what you was doing in order for to get the rewards for the shit that you was gonna do. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I understood the whole playbook. You know what I'm saying? I understood going in this bitch, I had to be a man. I understood I was a man before I even was winning that bitch. I understood, you know what I'm saying, like the respect thing. You know what I'm saying? I understood, like, well, a nigga ain't gonna disrespect me. You know, I understood, like, I'ma stand on business. You know what I'm saying? And I understood, like, you're not gonna choose me to be your partner, my nigga. I'm gonna choose you to be my partner. So when I choose you to be my partner, we're gonna come to a mutual agreement, and we're gonna learn how to fuck with each other. You know what I'm saying? So that's when we're gonna have some shit like we gonna understand. You hear me?
So are you a convicted felon now?
Yeah, I'm definitely a convicted felon. Yeah.
So how does that like make you move nowadays, knowing that you're a convicted felon? You can't be around certain people, do certain things.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
You hear me? You hear me? It's fucked up. Like, cause it's like they put separation between us, you know what I'm saying, as being convicted felons. They put us in a box to where we can't reach, you know what I'm saying, like certain heights. You know what I'm saying? It's like being a convicted felon is just an all around fucked up thing. To the point where I don't think they really look at us like, you know what I'm saying, to give us like opportunities. So they put us in a position to make opportunities, but we have to learn how to, utilize the opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like, like my partner Wayne, like, you know what I'm saying, he been home working, the nigga a whole supervisor. He never thought he ain't never thought he can be a supervisor. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga ain't never had that kind of opportunity. You know what I'm saying? To even was like think about being a supervisor or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was working at the airport, I had the opportunity to be a supervisor, but I was kind of like racial discriminated against. You know what I'm saying? And that shit kind of, that's how I got fired, because I had clicked out. Cause how you give a position to the white dude, and I was the one that trained the white dude.
Yeah. I
trained him. So how you gonna give him supervisor over me? See, that's the thing when we talk about certain situations and how they look at us and how they characterize a nigga. You know what I'm saying? To the point where some things are make a nigga come back to that same old character, cause we not really getting the full potential, and they're not seeing the full potential of a nigga change. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you bring a nigga back to that dark space, and when a nigga go back in that dark space, now we tripping. You see what I'm saying? But when it comes down to elevation, like, you know what I'm saying, like, niggas don't want to be on a corner hustling. Nigga don't want to be doing that shit all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit played, like, the game is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep it 1,000. In today's era, they make ratting cool. Like, that's just like, that's what's up. When niggas speak on that shit, it's like, we don't give a fuck. I'm fucking with him, he ain't fuck over me. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of game that we, that we playing. You know what I'm saying? To the point, you heard me, to if you say something against it, it's like people don't give a fuck. People turn on you for speaking against that shit. But the real niggas that, they gonna love it. They gonna fuck with it, you heard me?
Yeah.
And when you got principles about things, like, niggas gonna stand on it, don't give a fuck. It's it's the game. Either they gonna love it or they gonna hate it. It's a negative and a positive. It's good, it's evil. It's always gonna be like that. And that's just, how I see the shoe fit, for real.
So, what message would you have for like the youth nowadays? Because especially in New Orleans, they're pretty out of control with the stealing cars and robbing people and things like that. So, how do you feel about that? What message would you say to them?
The message with that, like, you know what I'm saying, is like, I don't know what message you can do. Cause how I look at it, that little situation is like damn near turning into like a killer be killed type thing.
Mm-hmm.
You look at it like this. You know what? This is the message I gotta say to that. You gotta realize why is these, you know what I'm saying? Why these young dudes and young females is doing this? They need to find out. They need to find out that first.
Yeah.
Find out why they're doing it. Why they carjacking. Why they do it just to ride around. Smoke weed and you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I look at it like when motherfuckers get to their 30s, their 40s, 50s, y'all act like y'all never was young. Like, ain't nobody fucking perfect. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got some people that committed crimes. You got some people didn't commit crimes. Some people committed crimes and got away with it. But the core is to it, figure out why is these youngins doing the shit that they're doing. Saying like we can fault the youngins, but we can't fault them too though. You know what I'm saying? Cause if you show a nigga like I missed my basketball opportunity, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, but you know the person that was investing in my time. You know what they did?
What?
That coach came to my house,
Mm-hmm.
in my neighborhood. I ain't go to him or meet him at the school. He came to my house in my neighborhood. They talk this here, get on the news, they speak this type of shit or whatever the case may be, but they do not come to the neighborhood, bro. Come to the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Show the people that, you know what I'm saying, y'all for us. Don't do that shit for the B. Whatever their reasons is and however they want their votes, they whatever they call themselves, like want to be celebrities and all that type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all not coming back to the y'all not showing up, bro. Like, nigga don't see y'all face out there, man. Nigga see y'all on the news. Nigga don't see y'all in the hood unless it's a crime or something being involved. Unless it's something that y'all want to do, like, the stricken laws and do this and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when it come down to it, like, check this out. Saying it's a like my homie say it's a prison industry.
Mm-hmm.
But if you come to the neighborhood, bro, that shit'll speak a whole different volume. It'll give people don't just come when you running for some type of election or whatever, and you speak all these good things about giving food stamps and letting food stamps run over and all it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, dog, it's bigger than food stamps, bro. Like I'm gonna keep it all the way 1,000, bro. Like, we don't have no life in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like we trying to figure this shit out.
Yeah, nothing to look forward to.
We got nothing to look forward. We got nothing to look forward to, bro.
Yeah.
Like, only thing we look forward to is crime. We look forward to, like, if such and such gonna be the next. You know what I'm saying? If he gonna be the next one,
Mm-hmm.
or we heard he got such and such going on. We trying to figure out if he gonna be the next. You know what I'm saying? That's what we look forward to. We look forward to gossip. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we be on. Like, that's what the hood on, like gossip. Like, what's gonna happen to him next, or what's gonna happen to her next, who gonna get such and such. But we ain't never talking about like
elevating each other.
Like who gonna be the next millionaire? Like who gonna invest in old boy idea? Like, you know what I'm saying? Dude, they say dude made a fucking coffee cup, a mug. Who gonna be the person to invest in dude? You know what I'm saying? In his idea, like, you know what I'm saying? They don't come out there like, you got some smart people like in these hoods. You know what I'm saying? But motherfuckers not like they're not coming out there to show us nothing. So if you show a motherfucker nothing, man, you gonna get nothing in return, and you gonna get what the fuck you get in the streets.
Exactly.
Simple.
Well, let us know what you got coming up. What kind of projects you got coming up?
Oh yeah.
That's what you want to talk about.
Say, look, you already know. You hear me, man? June 15th. You hear me? I'm gonna be out there in the Cajun Dawn. You hear me, boss man? D-Lo, you gonna be pulling up after you finish with the Smoothie King shit. I got some things that I'm working on, like too at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like dealing with about to be in Houston, bro. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Houston is about to be a fucking problem. You hear me? Because I'm gonna definitely be out there, and I want to shout out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to shout out podcasters too, you hear me? I want to shout out my dog, you hear me? Hold up, make sure this boy get on here too right quick before I do this here. Boom. I want to shout out BRL Podcast, you hear me? Breaking Records, you hear me? Nephew and Neil, you know what I'm saying? From doing what they do, you hear me? And taking the time out with artists. I want to give a big shout out to, man, we just left out of Houston yesterday. The We Lit Podcast, you heard me, D's a dollar.
When's it getting released?
Oh, they working on that. I think they're gonna do that bitch like, cause that bitch, I was too litty. Like we was too litty, man. Shout out to my dog, you heard me, Stay Loyal. You know what I'm Stay Loyal Radio, you heard me, all love, no hate over there. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, he based in Lafayette. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, shout out to my fucking people in Lafayette too, man. And I got a project that I'm coming out. I'm trying to name, I don't know if I'm going to name my mixtape the Rubik's Cube. You know what that mean?
Rubik's Cube? Like,
yeah.
The cube?
Yeah, the cube. Do you know the definition?
No.
What I'm thinking about doing, you know what I'm saying, like doing a Rubik's Cube, you heard me, naming that my album, cause
you gonna tell us what it means?
Yeah, it's the Rubik's Cube is like a definition of life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how some people, when you go to doing the Rubik's Cube and you go to mixing it, but you some kind of way you never know that you get in and you get frustrated and you just want to throw that bitch over there. It's like the Rubik's Cube, it helps you like understand like patience, humbleness. You know, life come with a lot of twists and turns. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to know how to twist in order to get out that turn. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, all my shit be having definition, like the wounded animal, the last opportunity, only if they knew, watch my smoke. You know, them my mixtapes and shit, you do what I'm saying? And most definitely, you know, that's gonna be my thing. And most definitely I wanna shout you out in your podcast, you heard me?
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Press One Podcast. It'll be a new episode every Wednesday. So make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below. And make sure you follow Dirt on all his platforms. Peace.
You know what it is, man. Follow Dirt Life, you hear me? Right here, we coming out with the clothing line, FBF type shit popping off. We got another show that we about to do with boss man D-Lo out there in the Cajun Dome. You hear me? Shout out to the whole fucking team. J Sal, you hear me? Up in Smoke, you hear me? Fleazy, Freestyle, Noonie Red, you hear me? That boy B Spade, that boy Clarence, Frank Rilla, you hear me? Cameraman, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got, it's in the building, man. And most respectfully, shout out to the podcast of Press One of this beautiful lady right here, you heard me? She about to come up, and I swear to God, when I send you at her, You better come over and talk like you know how to fucking talk. You know what it's sitting for. You hear me? The real nigga ski. You know what it's sitting for.
Period.
Yeah.